The conference hall aboard the Galactic Unity Station hummed with the mixed atmospheres of a dozen species. Susan Chen stood beside Evan Martinez, both representing Earth's delegation at the Interspecies Security Summit. Around them, beings of Keaton, scales, and bioluminescent skin discussed warfare protocols with clinical detachment. Primitive, hissed Commander Zixthar, his insectoid mandibles clicking with disdain. The Krillian military leader gestured toward the holographic display showing human combat footage. Your species still engages in physical altercations? How? Barbaric. Evan crossed his arms, his jaw tight. With all due respect, Commander, you're misunderstanding what you're seeing. Misunderstanding? The towering reptilian delegate from Saria Prime, General Kormath, let out a rumbling laugh. We see humans striking each other with their bare appendages. Among civilized species, such behavior was abandoned millennia ago. We have plasma rifles, neural disruptors, molecular destabilizers. Why would anyone choose to use these? He flexed his clawed hand mockingly. Susan stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. Because weapons can be taken away. Technology can fail. But the body, the mind, those are weapons that can never be stripped from us. The assembled aliens exchanged what could only be described as amused glances, their various forms of communication translating to universal skepticism through the room's neural link system. Demonstrate, challenged Zixthar suddenly. Show us this weapon you speak of. Before Susan could respond, the Krillian commander activated his personal shield generator and stepped into the open area of the conference hall. Strike me, human. Use your body weapon. My shield will protect me from any primitive assault. Evan touched Susan's arm, concern flickering in his eyes. She gave him a slight nod. She had this. Susan removed her diplomatic jacket, revealing the simple athletic wear beneath. She rolled her shoulders, feeling the familiar looseness that came from 15 years of training. Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai. Krav Maga, humanity's collected wisdom of combat, flowed through her muscle memory. Rules? She asked simply. There are no rules in combat, Zixthar clicked, his confidence absolute. Your species should learn this. Susan moved. What happened next would be analyzed in alien military academies for years to come. Susan didn't strike the shield. She studied it first, circling, watching the faint shimmer of energy. The Krillian commander, expecting a clumsy charge, shifted his weight impatiently. That's when Susan saw it. The shield covered his body, but not the ground beneath him. She dropped low, sweeping his legs in a perfectly executed osotogari. The commander's shield protected him from impact, but did nothing to prevent the loss of balance. He crashed to the floor, his 4 eyes wide with shock. Before he could recover, Susan had transitioned, her arms snaking around his thorax in a modified rear-naked choke, applying pressure to what their xenobiology briefings had identified as the Krillian respiratory cluster. Yield? She asked calmly. The room erupted. Delegates rose from their seats, their translators creating a cacophony of disbelief. Susan released the commander, who scrambled backward, his shield flickering in his agitation. Impossible, Kormath roared. Evan stepped forward now, his voice carrying across the hall. That's exactly the point, General. Every human child learns that their body is a tool. We train from youth not just soldiers, but civilians too. We call it martial arts, and it encompasses thousands of techniques developed over millennia. But why? Asked Ambassador Wayleth of the Centauran Collective, her melodious voice tinged with genuine curiosity. Why maintain such training when you have advanced weaponry? Susan straightened, her breathing barely elevated. Because we learned a hard truth in our history. Technology fails. Guns jam. Power cells deplete. In the vacuum of space, a plasma rifle is useless without its charge pack. But this, she held up her hands, this never runs out of ammunition. This never malfunctions. There's also the matter of escalation, Evan added. Not every conflict requires lethal force. Human martial arts give us options we can restrain without killing, defend without destroying. Can your neural disruptor do that, General Kormath? The Saurian general's scales rippled with grudging consideration. Commander Zixthar had recovered his composure, though his mandibles still trembled slightly. This is unprecedented. In all our encounters with spacefaring species, none have maintained such antiquated skills alongside modern warfare. Antiquated? Susan smiled. Commander, the human body is the result of millions of years of evolution. We're endurance hunters, persistence predators. Our ancestors chased prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. We sweat to cool ourselves, allowing us to outlast nearly any opponent. Our hands can both cradle a child and deliver strikes capable of breaking bone. We're adaptable, resilient, and we never forget that beneath all our technology, we're still survivors. The conference hall had fallen silent, save for the ambient hum of life support systems. Alien eyes compound, stalked, and crystalline all focused on the two humans standing in the center. On Earth, Evan continued, we have a saying, walk softly and carry a big stick. We came to this summit with our plasma cannons and quantum shields. Yes, but we also came with something that can never be taken from us, the knowledge that if every weapon fails, we still have ourselves. Ambassador Waylith's luminescent patterns flickered thoughtfully. This explains much about human behavior in the Proxima conflict. When your soldiers' equipment was disabled by the electromagnetic pulse, you reported they continued fighting for 3 days. We assumed it was propaganda. It wasn't, Susan said quietly. It was training. General Kormath rose to his full impressive height, his tail sweeping behind him. I believe, he rumbled, that the Galaxy Council has underestimated humanity. We assumed you succeeded through technology alone. We were wrong. Commander Zixthar clicked his mandibles in what the translator interpreted as respect. I request a formal exchange program. The Krillian Dominion would learn these. Martial arts. 1. Susan and Evan exchanged glances, both fighting smiles. Granted, Susan said. Welcome to humanity's oldest tradition, Commander. Welcome to the fight. This was a class. As 9. This was a class.